Howdy, howdy, hey, how are you doing today? I'm the Moon Frog, and in this one, we're tuning in for episode 6 of Crunch Time, which is our short series about finishing this car, which is our 454 powered Hyundai Accent. And we are nearing the end, so let's jump right into it and let's get this thing running and driving and hopefully stopping. So here is where we left off. In the last episode, we got the air cleaner set up and got the headers figured out. Well, we got some of the wiring coming through for everything that we need. Well, in this one, we have to finish everything. So I'm gonna finish weld the headers. We might test the wiring, make sure everything's working. We're gonna admire the air cleaner and our fancy little fork. And we might finish the exhaust cutout for this side. And we still need to mount the seat, make some brake lines, figure out the brake system. We need to figure out throttle pedal, finish that cross member for the transmission, notch out the roll cage back there, and push the wheel well out some more to fit the tires, because we got these bored out so they sit properly, and now the tire's hitting back there. So we need to clearance it and get some anger out of our system by punching the body right in. And then back here we need to drill some holes, mount the fuel tank properly. I got some fittings for it. We just need to figure out the line situation and clean out the tank because it's full of rust. We got our rad mounted in the last episode as well. Now we just need to figure out some lines going to the engine. And oh, we got the fans wired in as well, so it'll suck the smoke out as well as cool our coolant water thing, liquids, one of those. We said goodbye to a passenger seat to replace it with a battery, and I think our cooling hoses are gonna run right inside of here with a cover on top of it in case of explosions. Oh, and we also need a drive shaft loop here because well, I'm basically sitting on the drive shaft. Since we weren't able to get a smaller seat, we are running the factory seat, and I would like to have something around there just in case that joint lets go or my shaft is way out of balance and it decides to come out and rip my frog legs off. Maybe, hopefully not rip them off. But anyways, we have to make sure this is safe-ish to at least just idle into the car show, park itself, and then, you know, just expose this thing to the public. So yeah, if you're stoked to seeing this car run and shred a set of tires here pretty soon, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that thumbs up. Whatever, let's just get this car done and you'll see how it goes. Alright, so what we're going to start off on here is brakes. If you rewind in the playlist of Burnout car build, you will remember that we flip the knuckles. And when flipping the knuckles, we also flip the calipers. Calipers do have a direction, so that way your bleeder is up on the top. And if we were to have it flipped on this side, we would have the bleeder on the bottom, which would only leak fluid but not air. So what we're going to do is take this caliper, swing it to the other side, bring the other caliper over here, and from there we will bend some fresh lines. So I'm going to get the calipers swapped over real quick, try to keep the old lines alive, and once I have that done, we will figure out how to get this line perfectly fitted to the body. And that is our brake calipers mounted and swapped around. And I went and did a little redneck rebuild at the same time on those calipers because they were fully stuck and They weren't going to stop nothing other than themselves. Well, now I got them moving, but we're still missing the brake lines going from the master to the soft line. So now it's going to be time to do a little bending. Now, those calipers probably should have been changed out, as well as the rotors. They are junk. But if it can get us stopping just a little bit or slowing down enough, it'll do for the first run. And that's not really the sketchiest thing we're doing right now. So by putting a 454 in here, we cut out a lot of space, which was the brake booster with the brake master cylinder. But conveniently, the clutch master cylinder still fits in its factory location. So we are going to use the clutch master cylinder, split it into a T right there, and then split it to our wheels. So we're going to have the clutch master cylinder feeding the fluid to our two front calipers with no power brakes. So I am going to have to stomp all of my weight, maybe even more, right on that brake pedal if I ever want the car to stop while doing a burnout. But that's not to worry about, at least not for now. So I went ahead and made this little coat hanger guide here. I'm gonna go boop boop whoop shoop beep, and then it comes down right here to the factory soft line. So basically the trick is to make a version with a coat hanger so you can't really mess it up, and then we'll try to copy that with this straight piece of line, and we'll try not to mess it up because we only have one, and the store's closed because it's almost 11 p.m. So let's see how this goes. And there we have it, my dudes. That is the fuel line. We have both brake lines done. All that's going to be left now is to flare out the brake lines, screw them into the calipers, and start putting some fluids in there. It is getting very late. It is something like 1 a.m. at the moment, and well, I'm pretty satisfied with the progress done right now with the brake lines, fuel line, and everything else that's mocked up. We got the calipers and seized and stuff. So I'm gonna go get some shut-eye. We'll get right back to it in the morning. Hopefully bleed those brakes, see if they work. Get those headers fully welded. Electrical is almost fully finished. We're just that much closer to starting it for the first time. So stay tuned. We'll be right back at it in the morning.
What are you guys up to? Hey.
Alright, well, I'm gonna get the little shop buddy some treats, and we'll shut her down for the night. Here's a little midnight snack for you. And I am going to go do the same thing. So for you guys who don't know, this is Garfield, our little fatty, and that is Lippy, our little chatty. They basically showed up out of nowhere just a couple videos ago, and they are my shop cats now. We make sure they are well fed, have water at all times, they have a roof over their head, and some vehicles to hide in, and now they're just happy little fellers. And they keep me company when I'm alone in the shop, so we're all chilling. I don't know. Cats do be lovely to have around. And they keep our cars clean from rodents, so we don't have to worry about electrical fires until Scott gets his fingers into the wiring. But anyways, time to shut her down. is really crunching, and we are out of time. If I continue worrying about camera angles and lighting and all that shit, I'm not gonna make it to the car show. I'm not gonna get this car running. If I don't want to give up on this project, if I want to get it done, I'm gonna have to focus on it. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the camera aside and really crunch the fuck out of my time. I'm gonna get this thing running. I'm gonna get this thing moving. We have 3 days. The Rock and Roll Festival opens tomorrow. That's Friday. Saturday there is technically a car show. We're definitely not making it. And then Sunday is the goal. And even if it's not running, I will push it in myself if I have to. I am getting this car to the car show. Before we throw the camera aside and start dying of fatigue, let's check our last little bit on the list. So up here we have engine refresh. That's a 454. We still need to set the valve, do a little tune up on it and clean up and everything, but we'll consider that kind of done. Wiring is mostly done. Brakes, I almost just finished them. I just need to bleed them. That might be impossible. Hopefully it works. Trans tunnel, we're not even gonna worry about it. Drive shaft loops, I'm gonna try to make one. Fuel system, I still have to figure that out. Cooling system is pretty well figured out. Rust repair, we'll call that good. Seat, yeah, kind of. I'll weld it to the floor if I have to. Finish weld, yeah, we have to get to that. Stiffened springs, that's not to worry about. Shifter, I'm not to worry about that. And then gas pedal. So everything that isn't checked on that list, I'm gonna get done as soon as possible. And probably some more stuff as well. But anyways, this is how the car looks now. And then this is the result. Editor note: add some B-roll of the car as is before this clip. Yeah. Alright, so here's the deal. We did not make it to the car show. But on the upside, I got the transmission rebuilt and I got a whole day of sleep. Now let's get this transmission in and we'll catch up a little bit on the goal for this car. Because it's not over yet. Is how you install the transmission in the Burnout car without taking the engine out. Because I did design this to be taken out as one chunk. So doing this outside in the heat with the engine still in place, there's not even a guarantee that it's going to work. And I still have to get the torque in there. I'll see how that goes, and if I get everything bolted down, I'll let you guys know. If not, I'll probably just go to sleep. Snap. Click. Torque to spec. And that is a 4L60 mounted where a turbo 375 should have been. So I still have a couple of odds and ends to put in, like this sensor right here. Figure out the plugins, maybe some vacuum stuff, the shifter. But other than that, it's ready to put the drive shaft in. maybe start the engine to fill it up. Oh, I still have to figure out a dipstick as well. But anyways, let's catch up on the goal for the car. So we were supposed to make it to the Miramichi Rock and Roll Festival, which we did not. Well, the car didn't, at least. I still went ahead and paid my entry fee just to show support to the event, because it's such a rad thing to do, to just give every hot rodder and car enthusiast a spot to show off their ride. So I went ahead, paid my small fee of $10 to enter the show, and I just went along and enjoyed my day off and explored through the car show to see what kind of builds there was. I actually picked up a few ideas for this particular build. So thank you, Miramichi Rock and Roll Festival. Sorry I didn't make it. Next year we'll have this car actually show ready. Hopefully have it looking slightly better than it is right now. But even though we didn't make the Rock and Roll Festival, we still have a show ahead of us. It involves someone you might have seen on the channel throughout this build, throughout the skateboarding adventures, but it's the Mo Show. He's blocking off his yard for August 15, and us Acadians are gonna meet up, put our rides to the test. We're gonna try to blow off the Accent's first set of tires, which is its sole purpose. So if we can get this transmission going, the engine running, the drive shaft spinning in circles, and those tires losing grip, we should be good to get the show going. But anyways, I still have a few things to do, like put the drive shaft on. Then we have to get the engine running. Let's keep moving forward. So I got the shaft installed, and everything seems to be okay. At least the park works, so that's a plus. I went ahead and pieced together a set of wires from the pile of junk wires we have there. Wires we pulled out from Mo's junkyard, and yeah, so they're all running to the fire holes, and hopefully they're gonna allow us to run it, at least for a little bit. Now everything up here is technically ready to run. I could spray some flammable fluids up in there and turn it over. I have 12 volts to the distributor, and it would technically fire up. The problem is, now that I have the torque, transmission, and everything set up, I would have fluid shooting right out of the cooler line holes. I still have to figure out some lines. I don't really have a transmission cooler on hand, so what I'm gonna do is show you how cool the fan sounds. That's one thing that works. So our handy dandy little switch panel here is technically all functional. If we turn the gauges on, we have gauge lights, we have a voltmeter hooked up to our ignition, so everything tells us what the reading is when it's operational. And the thing is, we have a start button, but it only worked once. I don't know if the wiring is wrong. I did not do it, but it worked once. and some mystery smoke came out of somewhere, and now the button don't work anymore, and I have to cross the solenoid to spin the engine over. So I'm pretty sure we fried the solenoid. That's kind of the least of my worries right now. I still have to figure out a grommet for the dipstick, those two cooler lines, and make sure nothing leaks, because there's a lot of pressure that comes out of those lines. And then I still have to figure out a way to fill that radiator. I might have to poke a hole in the roof and then mount that bottle up there somehow, some way, something like that. Yeah, to end off this video, let's actually do something fun, or something to keep us motivational moment. Door's still closed, pretty good on this for all the cutting I done on the body. But yeah, I'm gonna put you guys here, just like that, and even if it don't fire, we will at least get to see this thing rotating. Might need a better battery or to charge this one up, but hey, it spins, it turns over. Last time I checked, there was oil pressure building up. The fact that I hear a bunch of clicking is kind of a sign that I'm gonna have to recheck on those lifters, I think. Hopefully I'm not pushing them in. But yeah, that is the Burnout car, and this was episode 5, maybe 5, 6. This was another episode of Crunch Time, our mini series where we finish our Burnout car before August 15 to put on a smoke show for the Mo Show. Alright, so that was it for this episode of Crunch Time. We got a lot done on the car. It's almost ready to run, so why don't you stick around? Hit that subscribe button down there if you enjoyed this video and you enjoyed this project. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up, and stay tuned, because next time we're gonna hear this thing rumble. So thanks for watching, and till next time, go out, be rad.